Good morning. I'm Pat Williams with ERA American Real Estate in Shalimar, Florida. I'm here today to tell you about the top 12 things you need to know about a VA loan. A VA loan is a loan for service members guaranteed by the Department of Veterans Affairs. Its main purpose is to help veterans be able to buy a home. Who's eligible for a VA loan? If you have a certain amount of time in the military and a certificate of eligibility, you are eligible to buy a VA home. A veteran, active duty member, a National Guard member, a reserve member, and surviving spouses. There are many features to a VA loan that are unique to their specific versus any other loan out there. Number one, VA loans are government insured. They are backed by the government, but they don't finance them for you. You go to a mortgage company for that, but the government backs the loan. Number two, there is no down payment required on a VA loan. Number three, there's no private mortgage insurance with a VA loan. Number four, it does come with a mandatory fee, which better known to most of us in the real estate world and the mortgage business as a funding fee. It can be added into the mortgage. Number five, an appraisal is required. One contingency of a VA loan is you must have an appraisal, and that's just to verify to the VA that the home is valued at the price you're willing to pay for it. Number six, a VA loan is more forgiving with credit scores. With conventional loans, your credit score needs to be higher. With VA, you can get in with a little lower credit score. But your mortgage company will need to provide that information to you. You may be able to get your closing costs covered by the seller by negotiating the contract and asking the seller to pay for your closing costs, and they agree to all of your conditions of the contract, then the seller can cover the closing costs, truly giving you 100% loan and closing costs, no money down. Number eight, a VA loan must be used for your primary residence. You must move into the property within 60 days of closing on a VA loan. You cannot buy investment property using your VA, except for if you were to live in the home for a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you get orders, you can rent the home out and continue to use it and keep your VA loan. There is no prepayment penalty. Many conventional loans used to come with a prepayment penalty. I don't know of many loans today that come with a prepayment penalty. Your VA loan is reusable. Your certificate of eligibility can be restored to you if you sell the house. You get your VA certificate of eligibility back. You can buy another home and another home and another home. You just have to satisfy one loan before you can use your VA to buy another loan. Number 12, a VA loan is assumable. However, there are conditions. If you allow the person to assume your rate and your loan, and they're not going to substitute their certificate of eligibility for yours, you will lose that part of your certificate of eligibility until they sell the house, or they in turn give you their VA for theirs. If they default on the loan, your certificate of eligibility amount could be at risk as well. I'm here today with Cheryl Douglas with Movement Mortgage. Cheryl is going to give you a rundown on using your VA eligibility to purchase a home, and she is an expert in the VA loan area.
I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about VA loans. Great loan for a veteran, whether you're active duty, whether you've been in the military before, whether you were a reservist, but it is probably one of the best loans out there and actually my favorite to do. So a VA loan is 100% financing. However, there are closing costs and prepaids, and a lot of people don't understand that sometimes it may take money out of pocket. However, sometimes it may not, because if you can get the seller to pay all your closing costs and prepaids, then it's possible to get into a house with no money out of pocket at all. Also, on a VA loan, one of the really good things about it is, rates are a little bit higher than we're comfortable with right now. However, there's a loan called a VA interest rate reduction, and it's a refinance that is super simple. It basically, if your rate goes down, if the current interest rates go down about 1.5 points, then at that point we'd want to do a VA interest rate reduction. And it's a simple, no appraisal, there's not cost involved in it. There's a little bit of closing costs, but they do get wrapped up into the loan. So you can actually just refinance, get to the lower rate, lower your payment, and, be a simple loan. So when you do a VA loan, it is possible to do a buy-down program to help you out on your interest rate the first couple of years of the loan. So for example, if you do a buy-down, the first year your rate could be 5%, the second year your rate could be 6%, and then the third year on 7%. So what happens is, let's say your ending rate is a 7%, but like in the first year, maybe the interest rates go down to 5.5%. We can still do the VA interest rate reduction, lower your rate to 5.5%, but the money that you paid for the buy down for the second year, it's not lost. You can actually take that money and apply it towards your balance. So it's unlike a regular buy down. A regular buy down is where you pay money to buy your rate down. And once you pay that money to buy your rate down, that money is lost. So if you refinance, you have lost that money to buy the rate down. So another thing I want to talk about on VA loans is having more than one VA loan at once. So it is very possible, and lots of people have 2 VA loans at once. The way you figure that is let's say you have one loan and the purchase price was $300,000. We actually pull what's called your certificate of eligibility from the VA website, and that eligibility, we plug it into a formula, and that formula tells us, hey, they can do a second VA loan up to $400,000 or $450,000. So it is possible to have 2 VA loans at once. Now, let's say there's only $300,000 worth on your second VA loan, but you want to buy something for $350,000, then you can just take $50,000 times 25%, and that would be your down payment. So it's really, really a small down payment if you go over what your eligibility is to have 2 VA loans at once. Also, a lot of people don't realize on a VA loan that you can, if you have one VA loan, you can purchase a house, for over $1 million easily and have that eligibility. It's just that if you buy a house for that amount, then you wouldn't have enough of eligibility to be able to buy a second house in a different location. But you can buy what's called a jumbo or a high balance VA loan. So those loans are out there as well. Let's talk about a minute about other programs that are possible, because I know we're talking a lot about VA loans, and people that may watch this may go, well, I don't have VA eligibility. There are other options. You can do a rural housing loan, which is 100% financing. Actually, my company, Movement Mortgage, has a program that's 100% financing that's called Movement Boost. And there's also bond money available, so you can do loans and you can have a second amount for $10,000 to help with either down payment, closing costs, prepaid. So there are other options. So don't get discouraged if you don't have a VA loan available. We can try to find other options to get you into a home, because everybody does want to own a home and be able to have their pets in their home and, and do whatever they want to their house and not have to worry about renting and having those restrictions.
If you would like more information about using your certificate of eligibility, buying a home using your VA, please give the Pat Williams team at ERA American Realty a call today, 850-585-4062. Thank you.